Grand Canyon by Madison Limro and Cassandra Moore. General info about Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon National Park in northern Arizona encompasses 278 miles or 447 kilometers of the Colorado River and adjacent uplands. Located on the ancestral homeland of 11 associated tribes, Grand Canyon became a national park February 26, 1919. Before Grand Canyon was a national park, it was protected and as a reserve. There's some little pictures. Okay.
The information about the animals in the Grand Canyon. There are about 447 known species of birds in the Grand Canyon. There are about 91 mammals that call the Grand Canyon home, around 48 species of reptiles that live in the Grand Canyon, and there's about 10 species of reptiles in the Grand Canyon, and some photos of a squirrel and I think a deer thingy.
The razorback sucker was thought to be... Oh, wait, hold on. There are 7 endangered species when it comes to the Grand Canyon, one specifically called the razorback sucker. The razorback sucker was thought to be extirpated or locally extinct from Grand Canyon until 2012, when several adult razorback suckers were captured in the western Grand Canyon during surveying work. Oh, Lord. Razorback suckers have a bony keel on their backs. They are the largest species of suckers that live in the Colorado River and reach a maximum length of 36 inches or 900. Anyways, they move. They may live 40 years or more. They feed on a variety of insects. And there oh my god, there are at least 10 historical records of razorback suckers caught in Grand Canyon, including a specimen caught in Bright Angel Creek in 1944. Today, the largest population and possibly only population of wild reproducing razorback suckers is in Lake Mead. The species was listed as endangered in 1991. Critical habitat, including all of Grand Canyon National Park, for the species was determined in 1994. Oh my god.
Geology of the park process number 1. The story begins about 2 billion years ago when igneous and metamorphic rocks were formed. Then layer upon layer of sedimentary rocks were laid on top of these basement rocks. Rocks on the top are generally younger than the rocks below them, and just a really detailed photo about it.
Next is the Colorado Plateau uplift. The action of plate tectonics lifted the rocks high and flat, creating a plateau through which the Colorado River could cut down. The way of how the uplift of the Colorado Plateau occurred is confusing. With uplift, geologists generally expect to see deformation of the rocks. The rocks that comprise the Rocky Mountains, for example, were dramatically crunched and deformed during their uplift. On the Colorado Plateau, the rocks weren't altered significantly. They were instead lifted high and flat. Just how and why uplift occurred this way is under investigation. While scientists don't know exactly how the uplift of the Colorado Plateau occurred, a few hypotheses have been proposed. The two currently favored hypotheses call for something called shallow angle subduction or continued uplift through isosclicity.
Erosion of the canyon. Weathering and erosion are an ongoing process. If we were to visit the Grand Canyon a couple million years from now, it would be wider. We may not even be able to see across it anymore. Much of the Grand Canyon's width has been gained through the erosion action of water flowing down into the Colorado River via tributaries. As long as water from snow, melt, and rain continue to flow in these side drainages, erosion will continue. In a few million years, Grand Canyon also may be a bit deeper. Though the canyon isn't getting deeper nearly as fast as it is getting wider. The rocks through which the river is currently down-cutting are hard, crystalline, igneous, and metamorphic rocks, which are much stronger than the sedimentary rocks resting above them. And then there's a picture.
Yeah. Ancient cultures that lived in the Grand Canyon National Park. People have lived at Grand Canyon for thousands of years. Throughout time, they found shelter, food, and water to survive. Artifacts, objects left behind from past cultures give scientists clues about how people lived in the past. People still visit, work, and live at Grand Canyon today. Roughly 800 to 1,300 years ago, ancestral Puebloan families lived together in stone houses. They hunted animals and grew corn, beans, and squash. They also made pots for storing food. There's also basket makers that lived in Grand Canyon 1,300 to 3,000 years ago. Basket makers wove baskets and shoes from the fibers of yucca plants. They lived in rock shelters and pit houses partly dug in the ground. Basket makers were the first farmers in the Southwest. They hunted bighorn sheep, grew corn, and collected pine nuts. Here's some goofy little pictures.
Okay.
Yep. Sources. So now we'll be doing our model of how the Grand Canyon was formed. We have all of our stuff right here, so we'll do that now.
So I'm adding soil as the base sediment. Okay.
And now I will be adding the rocks to act as our next sediment.
I'm adding beads as another base sediment. It's so cool.
And now we're going to raise it to act as uplift.
Pour it and then take some out. We're gonna pour water to act as the carving of the Grand Canyon.
This was caused by the Colorado River. So,
Oh, we need more?
a little bit. Oh god, okay. So you can kind of see a river, and then it's like it was formed. Yep.
Come here.
So that was our presentation on how the Colorado was formed. Wait,
The Grand Canyon.
how the Grand Canyon was formed. I hope you enjoyed.